But the real question remains, did the billionaire get into brigading? They wrote peace on the wall in brigading. Musk tweeted at 3:51 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I refuse to enter. Around 3 hours later, he elaborated on the incident. Peace? Peace? I hate the word, he said, quoting a line from Romeo and Juliet, adding, those who do care about peace, myself aspirationally included, don't need to hear it. And those who don't care about peace, well. Now, in terms of the Copometer, this one ranks pretty damn high, I gotta say. Because, like, who sees a sign on a wall that says peace and actually genuinely has this thought? No one. No human being has ever thought this. This is just weird. But it is a very, what seems to be a plausible cope. That's my best read on this. I was actually singing a song. If you want to know the truth, I was singing about Elon Musk and Elon's Musk. More importantly, sorry, I'm misspeaking because I'm just so excited about this. Guess what? You know how there's been this big problem with big tech and monopolies and how they kind of just dominate our lives and how we like to think we have the illusion of choice. Like, and we get this under capitalism, right? Every time you walk into a supermarket, a neoliberal will like cry tears of joy. They'll just look around themselves and be like, oh my god, the options, the selection, 12 kinds of biscuits. I was about to say the C word there, but I caught myself. Actually, wait, I'm allowed to say it in relation to foodstuffs. 12 kinds of crackers to eat. Delicious crackers that I will have with my cheese. Yes, in the supermarket, as tears of joy spill down their faces. When in reality, it's actually more like there's only 12 corporations that control all the food that we consume. There's about 5 companies that control all the media that we consume. There's about 3 to 4 big tech companies that control all the internet that we consume. You think that you see a lot of variety, right? But you don't realize you're actually really only going to about 5 different websites. You usually go to YouTube, Wikipedia, Twitter, maybe an Instagram, maybe a TikTok. You know, there's variations. People pick and choose their favorite social media. Some of you like Reddit, some of you like Facebook. I don't know, or Filthbook, or whatever you kids are into. All right, I'm old, but whatever your website of choice is, most likely you're only getting it from a very small amount of corporations that control. And see, the problem becomes when all of a sudden these companies also become the arbiters of speech, right? This is where the free speech debate comes into it, because it's like, well, how does Twitter get to decide who and who is not blasphemous? Is it Donald Trump? Is it Elon Musk? Is it Big Chungus? Now, there are potential solutions to this. They're not pretty. They include either making far sweeping changes to laws, specifically in America, because that's where a lot of these companies are located, that are going to potentially break up these giant monopolies. There's also the idea of making them public utilities, owning them, if you will. But lo and behold, there was a third option none of us knew, and that is the benevolence of the great and holy Elon Musk. For you see, Elon Musk is the richest human being on the planet, fluctuating. He falls in and out of first place, right? And as the richest human being on the planet, he can pretty much do anything he wants, ultimately. And rather than hunt humans for sport or create a literal Big Chungus in a laboratory that he can then hunt for sport, he has decided that he wants to become the arbiter of free speech, the arbiter of Twitter. He's a prolific shit poster. He's not good. He's really not good. What he does is he's kind of a meme thief. He's kind of someone who just hijacks other memes and like I'm of two minds when it comes to that. It depends on how much creativity you put into the meme, because ultimately if your meme is just like, hey, I'm gonna type out this line and it's on a template that everyone else uses, I mean, that's kind of I mean, ultimately is the meme going to be used for a worthy cause, then you should be able to share it. And I say this openly, you may steal every single one of my memes. Most of them I put them on Twitter and use them for your own nefarious purposes. Go forth. But Elon Musk is the world's richest human, so he could actually afford to help some people out. He's also done some other silly things. There was someone on Twitter who was tracking his flight schedule, and so he offered to buy them off, I think for like $5,000. Maybe it was 50 grand. It was paltry. You know, it's basically what he makes every time he like comes soy. It was like a very, very small amount. Anyways, he is now the majority shareholder of Twitter. Just like that. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to become the majority shareholder of Twitter. Elon Musk, the irrelevant billionaire shitposter who runs Tesla and SpaceX, the former currently being sued by thousands of black workers for allegedly being one of the most racist places they ever worked in, has found a new way to relate to his favorite plaything, Twitter, by becoming the largest shareholder. Bloomberg News reported on Monday that a 13G regulatory filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission revealed that Musk purchased 9.2% stake in Twitter, worth $2.89 billion as of Friday's market close. That is nothing for an Elon Musk. That's less than it takes for him to become soy. Sorry, my level ideas. Thank you very much. I'm very happy. That's good. Stygians, check yourself. He's the largest shareholder. Yes. Anyways, Bloomberg News reported on Monday that 13G regulatory filing with the security exchanges before the market closed, before the purchase was revealed. Purchase make Musk the company's largest shareholder. On March 25th, Musk ran a Twitter poll asking his followers if Twitter rigorously adheres to the principle of free speech. 70% said no. Musk wondered if a new platform was needed and whether he should be the one to start it. It's worth noting that what Musk defines the speech that must be protected on Twitter, now that he has a good deal of power over the website itself. He has mocked gender pronouns, promoted malaria drug chloroquine as a COVID-19 treatment, it has long been dismissed as one, asked followers to take the red pill, whined about pandemic lockdowns amid increasingly bizarre COVID-related tweets, compared Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler amid anti-vaccine mandate protests, and much more. Recently, he tweeted a meme with the caption, "Netflix waiting for the war to end to make a movie about a black Ukraine guy falling in love with a transgender soldier." In many ways, Elon Musk is emblematic of the worst elements of Twitter. The richest man in the world, an objectively powerful person, unaccountably making distasteful jokes about marginalized people, and promoting COVID misinformation that could have been an email forward from an uncle, and shitposting along with brutal autocrats. He's a Roganite power user, and he now has his hands on the reins. For all his focus on free speech, Musk often leverages the inherent power imbalance that favors him over any other voice on Twitter. He has, for example, gone out of his way to suggest investigative reporters are involved in conspiracies against him motivated by fossil fuel companies and rival car companies as well as union supporters. Musk and his legion of fans may insist that Musk hitting back against criticism is just the other side of free speech coin, but this would suggest a childlike belief in the idea that the world's richest man is on equal footing with the writers for various media outlets and random users criticizing him. I think they're talking about Ken Klippenstein. Ken Klippenstein, because he has a war with Ken Klippenstein. Yeah, it's a thing that they're doing. He is the largest shareholder, not the majority. Did I say majority to start the stream? Now I'm like, oh, it is me who must check myself. Okay, I didn't mean to say majority. I misspoke there. Yes, you are correct. Stygians is not, though. Stygians is never correct. But Cheeto is. Similar to Trump's presence on Twitter before he was banned, Musk's bombastic tweets frequently spawn news cycles, and even when they shouldn't, making his purchase of a large stake in the company feel like a natural fit. And it may be. Musk will continue to make whatever claims he wants to make, whatever he wants to say, and whine when he encounters resistance. Now, obviously, this is all deeply confusing. It's legal. It's 100% legal, and it's exactly as one should conduct business in such a way. It does kind of put into question, though, the idea of like, so there is this myth that Twitter is intentionally cracking down on conservative and right-wing thinkers, pundits, figures, whatever the case may be, right? There's that idea, and I know that's been propagated for a while by people like Elon Musk or Tim Pool and Joe Rogan. And to me, I mean, if you were to ask my assessment, it really seems like they're kind of just really behind the Overton window when it comes to trans issues. And because they're consistently making, vilifying, and attacking trans people their like main cause right now, that yeah, they're going to get flagged and potentially suspended when they do things like engage in really aggressive transphobia, misgendering, dead naming, all that kind of stuff. And they can't seem to help themselves, and they get really excited about it, and they're all like, oh yeah, this is so funny. The Babylon Bee has made yet another misgendering joke. It's the height of comedy, all that kind of stuff. They do. They have a very big victimization complex. There's no question about that. But here's the thing. I've said for a while, the problem with framing the argument that Twitter is not really adhering to free speech, especially the free speech absolutists, you know, your Ben Burgesses, your Kyle Kalinskis, who are like, we can't celebrate when Nick Fuentes is kicked off the platform, because if we do, we'll be next. What happens when censorship comes for the left? And you know it will. And I'm like, well, either way, it's a dictatorship, right? Like, you have to understand that this is a corporate dictatorship. They control the speech itself. So we're kind of ceding ground by even saying that this is something in which they will have the sole ability to determine. And now Elon's taking this to the next step, which is that if an obscenely wealthy person can decide for whatever reason, I'm going to try and buy up a bunch of this company, I'm going to then join the board, so I'm going to be able to have some decision-making power in this. I mean, how long before Elon Musk is like, let's bring back Donald Trump, because he was kind of funny, let's do this. Today he said he wanted to add the edit button, which, to be honest, in all seriousness, that might not actually be a terrible thing. And of all the things that they were going to talk about, it could be a good idea. But anyways, it opens up a very frightening possibility. And it does put into focus this idea that under capitalism, the more capital you have, the more power you have. And so that we're going to have these unjust hierarchies that will form, and the very rich and the wealthy will basically control what we do, see, hear, eat, think, and come to, ultimately. I mean, I'm not even joking about that last one. That's not a punchline. That's ultimately, there are algorithms that work in sites like Pornhub or any of the other ones, any of those massive, tube sites that try to recommend you the kind of porn they think you want to watch next. So the algorithms are working to determine what you will masturbate to. That's a real thing that's happening right now. It's kind of weird when you sit down and think about it. Oh, there's also an equally, as much as this one might be a horrifying story, hilarious story. And it's also directly related to 42069 Big Chungus himself. How to get into Berghain. Is it Berghain or Berghain? Berghain? I'll never be allowed in. Trust me, I'm not cool enough or good looking enough. Is the omnipresent question for first timers visiting the legendary Berlin Nightclub. Ja, super fantastisch. Yeah, very good. Joining the ranks of these sweaty, nervous newcomers this week was a very unlikely figure, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. But did the Tesla founder and father of Grimes' children get rejected at the door, or did he actually refuse to enter the techno club as he claimed on social media? Sounds like a cope. Musk, who just bought 9.2% stake in Twitter, has clearly been enjoying himself in the German capital. According to breathlessly reported accounts in the Times and other publications, he has dived into Berlin's famed fetish and electronic music scene on a visit to the European city, including a visit to Kit Kat Club, known as the city's most notorious techno-sex club. It's a labyrinthine warehouse of Club Sisyphos, where he was spotted in a Zorro mask. I've never partied in Berlin, by the way, just as a side note. I would love to. I think I'm too old now, because like I've had friends who partied in Berlin, and they're like, it don't stop. It's like you start on Thursday and you stop on Monday. And by stop, I mean like you don't sleep. Like the drugs are that great, the parties are that fun, that people just keep going. They party all through the night, into the morning, into the next day, into the night, into the morning, into the next day. And I was just like, that sounds exhausting. I'm getting to that age now where it's just like, after a good concert of some music, it's like, oh, so what do you want to do now? Go to the after party? It's like, oh Lord, no, I'd rather die. I'd like to go home and maybe watch an episode of something and then pass out so I don't have a hangover tomorrow. And I'm gonna have to drink a lot of water to make sure that doesn't happen. Trust me, never get old. Don't do it. All of you, don't ever get old. It's horrifying. Everything they told you is true. You get worse hangovers. The best time is September with the Folsom Street Fair. Do I want to come? No. I just finished describing how this is far too hardcore for me. But that's just me. Elon Musk is built differently. He's like the world's richest human. He has access to all the finest adrenochrome, children's blood, whatever you name it, inject it right into his veins, and he can keep partying and going forever. But it doesn't matter how rich you are. You can't bribe yourself into Berghain. Berghain. You can't bribe yourself in there. This is like one of the few places that still is doing the old school, like, yes, no, because the clientele is also going to determine how much fun everyone has inside. That whole, like, it doesn't matter. You could be what they consider to be like a vermin off the street, and then you could walk up front and they could be like, yes. And then you could be an Elon Musk and be like, I'm the world's richest human. And they can be like, no. They have that power. Yes. But the real question remains, did the billionaire get into Berghain? They wrote peace on the wall in Berghain. Musk tweeted at 3:51 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I refuse to enter. Around 3 hours later, he elaborated on the incident. Peace? Peace? I hate the word, he said, quoting a line from Romeo and Juliet, adding, those who do care about peace, myself aspirationally included, don't need to hear it. And those who don't care about peace, well. Now, in terms of the copometer, this one ranks pretty damn high, I gotta say. Because, like, who sees a sign on a wall that says peace and actually genuinely has this thought? No one. No human being has ever thought this. This is just weird. But it is a very, what seems to be a plausible cope. That's my best read on this. Based on these tweets, Musk at least saw the outside of brigading. The peace sign is a relatively new addition that currently stretches across the outside of a club in stark black and white lettering. You can see it in the Instagram post from French DJ Miss Kitten, who played in the upstairs space of the Panorama Bar over the weekend. Oh yeah, I see it right there. My God, yes, that upsets me. That too makes me never want to enter an area. The peace sign is the first thing you see when you walk up to the imposing concrete building. Originally a post-war heating plant, the letters of the sign are almost as tall as the top floor windows. But did the sign send Musk into a rage that made him leave the queue? Or was he, as multiple social media users and publications have since speculated, simply turned away at the entrance? Bergain declined to comment for the story. The club has a strict policy of not discussing anything that happens there, which, given the kinds of things that happen in his darkroom, kind of makes sense. So, where does that leave our billionaire playboy? They wrote peace at the wall, Bergain, I refuse to enter. Playful magazine founder Flip Sandstrom Berger was there on the night, but didn't spot Musk. It's always hard to predict who's going to come and who's not. It depends on the door's crew, gut feeling of you. But our advice for Elon is not to come together with a big group, and don't care too much about the rumors of a strict dress code. Just be yourself, Elon, and it will be up to the guys and girls at the door to decide your future. I'm like, more than anything, I just love the idea of Elon Musk getting denied at a club and then afterwards having to think of a tweet to be able to justify that, you know? It's like, oh shit, well, this is gonna be news. I gotta get ahead of this story, you know? And you know what? It would probably be better for the club, for their rep, to have that in their back pocket. To be like, we are so exclusive, we didn't let the world's richest human in here. That's way more powerful than, yeah, we just let Elon Musk inside. Like, what does that really get you? Then you just got Big Chungus inside the club being like, yeah, 69, 420. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah. Like, no, this is much better. Much better. Does the richest man in the world have a good vibe? Debatable. But judging from his choice of casual clothing on Instagram, the man tends to flavor, good vibe. We've devolved into nonsense. Pretty quick, too.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to conduct many a human sacrifices in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble yet incompetent jesters, trying in vain to bring some levity into your life. To our Lord Trevor R., we give you thanks for this meager plot of land for us to toil away our pathetic existence. To our brave knights, Carl Wauer, Tony, D.M. Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruben Kelly, Brendan, Words Greenwood, Nate, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tal, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We salute our mighty heroes off to conquest some bread in some far-off land.